Hello guys, Dan here from Dan's Tech, and today's video guys we're going to be building a £400 gaming PC. So yeah, £400 we'll be grabbing both an AMD CPU and GPU, and I'm also for £400 you're going to get a pretty good gaming PC. Now this one is a little bit more expensive than the £300 build, it's exactly £100 more, and I'm also that you are getting a lot more gaming performance for the money. As you guys know, buying low end components it doesn't give you the best performance, and spending just that little bit more does get you a lot more performance. So this build for £400 is going to be pretty damn good, and I will say that just like all other PC builds, all the parts will be in the description, and I will say that it doesn't include stuff like the OS and peripherals like keyboard and mouse. It's just the physical hardware. So if you guys wanted to build a PC for say £1,000 and you still got to buy an OS and keyboard mouse, this is probably the video for you. Anyhow, yeah, let's get started. And I will say that yes, it's AMD, so for the CPU and GPU. So yeah, I will say typically by going with AMD, you're going to be getting a little bit more for your money, versus going with Intel and Nvidia where you pay a little bit more. But yeah, that will change when we get to the high-end stuff, because AMD doesn't tend to do the high-end stuff when it comes to CPUs. So yeah, we'll be switching out to them companies. But for now, AMD is the way to go. You do get more performance for your money. So that's where we're going to be for now. And now I'm rambling. Let's get on with the £400 PC build, and yeah, it's just see how it is. So to get started, for the CPU we're going to be picking the AMD FX 6300. This is a true quad-core processor from AMD and is clocked at 3.5 GHz with a turbo of 4.1 GHz. The CPU plugs into socket AM3 Plus, and for £72 is a pretty good bargain, and also does give you some pretty nice performance for the price. Now moving on to the motherboard, we're going to be grabbing the ASRock 980DE/US. U3S3, sorry. And yeah, this motherboard is an ATX form factor AM3 Plus socket motherboard and is running on the AMD 760G chipset. In terms of the RAM speed, this supports all the way up to 1866 MHz and can support a maximum of 32 GB of DDR3 RAM. It does support many levels of RAID and also has 6 SATA 3 gigabit ports as well as 2 SATA 6 gigabit ports. Very, very nice. And I will say that it does also have a USB 3 header, which the case can actually plug into, and that is £45. Moving on to the RAM, we're going to be grabbing one 8GB stick of Crucial Ballistic Sport memory, and this will be running at 1600 MHz with a cast latency of 9, and yes, the voltage at 1.35 volts. Very, very nice. And I will say that yes, this RAM for the low price of £55 does also have a heat spreader with the logo, and yeah, just some branding on the side there. So there we are, some Crucial Ballistic Sport memory. I will say that I personally had some Crucial Ballistic Sport memory in the past, and it's pretty damn solid, so we'll kind of leave that there. Now moving on to the storage, we're grabbing a Western Digital Caviar Blue. This is a 1TB hard drive with the SATA 6 gigabit interface, 64 megabytes of cache, and spin speed of 7200 RPM. Not much I can say apart from you getting 1TB of hard drive space, and it's £43. Pretty nice. Now onto the graph card. The actual thing that's going to be doing the gaming in this build, we're going to be grabbing the PowerColor Radeon R9 270X. This is a 2GB card, and this is PowerColor's Turbo Duo. Now this card has 1280 stream cores, and also as for the video memory, it has 2 gigs of GDDR5 memory. Now the engine clock runs at 1030 MHz with the boost going all the way up to 1080 MHz. The memory on the other end is running at 5.6 gigabits, which is 1.4 GHz. That's nice as well. And lastly, as for the connections, you get HDMI, DisplayPort, DVI-I, and also DVI-D. I will also note that yes, the memory interface is 256 bits and that the price is £120. I will say you're getting a very nice card, and I will say for £120 getting 270X with 2 fans is pretty good. So yeah, we'll just kind of leave that there. Now moving on to the case for this build, I've gone with the Cooler Master K280. This is an ATX mid-tower. Now this case is cheap, and to be honest, it does do the job. Just like many of my builds in the past, this case really does does do well for the very low price of £22 at eBuyer. And also the main features are the fact that it can accommodate up to 6 hard drives. Yes, it does have 6 internal 3.5-inch bays for the good old hard drives and SSDs. And yeah, I will say that the fact this case can actually hold ATX, micro ATX, and mini ATX is pretty good, and I will say in this case we are pretty set with our ASRock motherboard. Now the last two features worth mentioning is the fact that it does have a single USB 3 port on the front, and you will be actually plugging this into the motherboard. As I mentioned earlier, the motherboard does have a USB 3 header, and I will say yes that this case can accommodate all the way up to 315mm long GPU, so it's pretty good if you want to upgrade in the future. Now lastly, for the PSU, I've opted to go for the Corsair Builder Series CXM 430-watt modular power supply. And there's PSU for £40 at Amazon is great for the money, and I will say that, yeah, we'll offer some nice clean power to your PC. And yeah, one main reason I did pick this power supply is the fact that it does have enough 6-pin cables to hook up the graphics card in this build. And I will say, yes, the 270X does need 2 cables plugged into there, and this power supply does cover that. Anyhow, yeah, the total cost of this build is £397, and I will say for that price you're going to get a very nice build. Anyhow, on to the conclusion. So guys, there we are, that was a £400 gaming PC build. I will say the graphic card in this build, which is the 270X, is a pretty good card for the money, and I will say that this will be able to play, yeah, most of your games at high settings at 1080p, so you'll be getting a nice, you know, gaming experience. I will say, you know, don't expect 60 FPS on high settings, so, you know, if you don't want 60 FPS, which is somewhat what PC gamers do like. I will say on console, your 30 FPS is kind of the thing, but I will say on PC, with all, you know, kind of the frame latency and all stuff like that, typically on PC, you know, you do want to kind of aim for 60 FPS, so you know you might be playing some of your games in medium, and yeah, just kind of stuff like that. I will say that for £400 isn't the most high-end system in the world, but I will say that it will get you through, you know, many titles that are released even today, so that's all good. So guys, yeah, if you want to, you know, pick up any of these parts, I will say all the parts are in the description for you guys to click on, and yeah, you also find a playlist there if you do want to build, say, you know, the £300 system, or the, you know, the £500 or £600, or even the £700 system. I'm doing, yeah, all kind of gaming builds between 300 to 1,500, so if you guys want to check them out, you can do. Anyway guys, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, and also subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.